everybody, and welcome to another week of Let's Talk. I am your host, author Dree Let. Yes, we are back for another fun-filled week. This is tonight where this is the show where we inform, inspire, and motivate. We get you going, get you going, get you going. We get your spirits lifted up. We inform you and we motivate you. So, you guys, this is called Heart Health Friday. Yes, that's a tongue twister for me. Heart Health Friday. I got my workout gear on because after the show, I'm going to get my workout on and get my heart and exercise and all that good stuff, right? So, later on, we have Dr. V. She's going to talk about heart health. And later on, we've got comedian and entertainer JeROME for the JeROME Moment. So, come on in the room, have a seat so we can sit down and let's talk. Every single week, I recognize my virtual studio audience. I want to give a shout out to them and see who's tuning in with me tonight on Friday. Let's see who we got in the room, so to speak. Yes, always loyal as ever. My husband watching in the man cave. Carla's here. Hey, Carla. I love you. Let's see here. Mommy in Love is here. Vegas represent. Okay. And Rockin' Richard Houston. Hey, Richard, what's going on? I see you're going to have a show here soon, and you've been all over the Detroit news. So big ups to you. That's outstanding. Roller skating and doing your thing, sir. And let's see who else we've got checking in. I know they're coming on in the room. I just want to give a big shout out to you. Like I said, if you're too shy to say where you're representing, it's okay. It's all good. Come on in the room and have a seat. We got a fun-filled show for you. Like I said, this is Heart Health Friday. Dr. V is going to be on in a few minutes here to talk about how to keep your heart healthy, the do's, the don'ts, some of the things that you need to know. Because as individuals, you got to eat right, you got to exercise right, you got to do all those good things, right? So she'll be on a little later. So you guys, and hot topics, oh my goodness, I got to tell you this story. So I'm not going to say who the person was. I'm not going to reveal their name, but I went on a business luncheon the other day. And so, of course, we're sitting outside. That's just what I do. I don't eat inside a restaurant, but that's just me. But we were sitting outside eating, and there was a woman part of our luncheon, and she was way across from me on the table. The table's long. And so we got on the topic of vaccinations. Now, you guys chime in and tell me what you think, live virtual audience. And for those of you watching this pre-recording, feel free to put in the comments or inbox me your thoughts. So she was sitting there. We were just talking about, the Delta variant and all this good stuff that's going on. And so she got real passionate when someone brought up vaccinations. And she was like, I'm not getting vaccinated. And she just got really, really defensive. And I get it. Some people feel that way. But this is the part that threw me for a loop, you guys. She said that she just lost her mother to COVID, like just recently. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And then she said, yeah, prior to her passing away, she had COVID herself. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, I didn't hear this right. So she had just had COVID. Her mom passed of it, and she's still not going to get vaccinated. I'm just like, I don't even understand. I don't know what it's going to take for people to just realize that they've got to do it. I know there's a lot of questions, a lot of issues around it. But I tell you what, if I'm looking at a vaccination or possibly a respirator, I'm getting vaccinated. And again, I know it's controversial, but it just blew me away how this woman had just lost her mother, God rest her soul. And then she had just had COVID, but she is adamant she is not getting the vaccination. To me, that's crazy. What do you guys think for live virtual audience? Chime in, tell me what your thoughts are. I don't know. I just think that sometimes we just don't listen to ourselves. We don't think clearly. And I just thought, man, that's ridiculous. It's so sad. Yeah. So Richard said, we will see her obituary soon. I know, right? I mean, that's sad, but that's the realization of it. They'll be on the news saying, I thought it was a hoax. And the bottom line is we wouldn't have any variants if everybody did their part and got vaccinated. That's just it. That's just how I see it. And again, I know some people feel a certain way, but if we all did our part, it would go away to some degree. We would have somewhat of a more normal life. And just as we're getting going here, it comes back. But anyway, all we can do is pray for those individuals and just hope that they get through it. I mean, I don't know what else to say here. Yeah, let's see. Somebody else said, yeah, definitely. They said it's sad that people are just don't get it. They just don't get it. I don't understand it either. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Dr. V. She comes on Let's Talk all the time, and she's always here to kind of keep us abreast of what's going on, not just with the vaccinations, but just heart health issues altogether. And the show loves her because she keeps it real with us, right? She's going to tell us the things that maybe some doctors won't. She's going to keep it real. So I'm going to bring Dr. V on into the room on Let's Talk. Hey, Dr. V, how are
Hey, how are
you?
you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Oh my goodness.
Good.
Before we went live, I know you was like, oh my gosh, you can't get the slides or something. And I'm like, we're scrambling. And oh my
I
goodness.
know. I
That's
know.
hilarious. That is so funny.
Oh,
So what I'll try to do is I'll let you talk a little bit and I'll try to pull them up and see if
okay.
I can access them. Um,
Okay.
I don't know if I can, but I will certainly try. So I'm just going to give the floor to you and let
Okay.
you start while I try to pull them up,
All
ma'am.
right. And while you do that, let me just say that, what you're talking about, the vaccination of COVID, I know we're talking about heart health. But everybody we're seeing now with COVID are the people who opted not to take the shot.
Mm.
It's just interesting to me because I kind of say, we were all kind of like, oh my gosh, when can this be over? And then we get the therapeutic that allows it to be over, and people don't want to take it. I mean, there's not much I can do. There's not much I can do. I always say to people is that, people always say, well, you might die of COVID. I said, well, what's worse than dying of COVID is actually not dying of COVID. I have
Ooh.
adults who are learning how to walk again. We have people who are having to get double lung transplants. So, some of what you go through with COVID, you could wish you were dead. So I tell people, vax that thing up. Vax it up, vax it
Mm.
up.
Back, I like that. Back that thing up. I love it. Yeah, and you hear on the news of all the lingering effects, and you're right. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. So tonight I'm going to talk about heart disease. And if we're able to get the slides up, that's great. And if
yes.
we're
I
not,
think
I just
I have them. I think
okay.
I got them. So let me just go in, and I'll just let you start talking as I bring
Okay.
up the
All right.
screen.
And basically, what I wanted to do was I wanted to share some things with people so they kind of see how this actually really works when you have heart disease. And then I want to actually sort of share some things that you can actually do to make a difference, right? That are
Okay.
beyond what you might normally think to do, right?
Okay.
And so you can just start at the first slide,
Okay. Okay.
which is, yeah, up at the top there.
Here we go.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. Actually, go ahead and do it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Wonderful. All righty. So, are you able to make it any larger?
Yeah. Let me see here.
If you go to like,
Hold on one second. Yeah, you
yeah,
guys, we had some technical difficulties before we went live. That always happens, but that's keeping it
that's all
real,
right.
right?
You know what? Just go on to the second slide.
Okay, right here.
Yep. And then as you're fiddling around, I'm fine. And if you can get it to like basically like a screen share, yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
Okay, let me
maybe
go back down.
down to 100%. There we go. That's
Here.
Yep, that's close enough.
Okay.
So basically, the heart is basically a muscle, right? And it's about the size of your fist, right? And basically, it is pumping blood to your lungs so that it gets oxygenated, and then from there, it comes to the left side of the heart where it then pumps it out to the rest of your body. People forget they think their heart just pumps out to your body, but it actually pumps to your lungs, and then it comes back and pumps out to your body. And it's surrounded by a sac, which is called the pericardium. So if you actually go to the next slide,
Okay.
it actually gives you like a photo of what this actually looks like. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's right there. If you could do present and see if it'll, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All
Yay.
right, wonderful. There we go. All right, wonderful. All right. So you basically have the four chambers of the heart. The right side pumps to the lungs, and that's the right atrium and the right ventricle. And then the left side actually is the one that pumps out to your body. The left side is the larger side of your heart, and it is the strongest chamber. The left ventricle is the strongest chamber, pumping out to your entire body. Okay, go ahead. Next slide.
Okay.
All right, so when we talk about cardiovascular disease, I want people to know I'm not just talking about heart attacks. I'm talking about all of these things, right? So you can have heart arrhythmias, you can have atrial fibrillation, ventricular tachycardia, you can have aortic diseases, you can have children that are born with heart disease. I think it was one of the comedians' son from late night show had a congenital heart disease. In addition, you can have the coronary artery disease, heart attacks. You can have heart failure where it just doesn't pump as strongly as it could. You can have valve disease, and you can have diseases related to the sac. You can have rheumatic heart disease from having strep throat as a child. And then you can also have strokes. And that is also considered cardiovascular disease, strokes and aneurysms. So we're going to go over not everything here, but just a couple things. Go ahead. All right, so we're going to go over coronary artery disease first. So basically, coronary artery disease is blockage of the heart, brain, or aorta. Those are the three major vessels that are causing it. So let's start first with the heart. Go to the next one. All right, so this is basically what it looks like. When it's normal, your blood cells kind of run through the vessel. What happens over time, particularly if you have high blood pressure or any sort of pressure, you get a tearing in the lining of your artery. And then what happens is a clot accumulates, and then cholesterol accumulates, and you get what is called the forming of a plaque, right? So go to the next slide, and we'll show you kind of what this is what it actually looks like. And this is how it sort of occludes the blood from flowing back and forth. And you'll see people, they'll say, I have a 70% occlusion or 75% or a 90% or a 99% or 100% occlusion. Okay. So a normal heart there is to the left. The heart with plaque buildup there is to the right. And you can kind of see all of the fatty cells, fattiness around the heart, and then also the narrowing inside the lumen of the vessels.
Wow.
All right, go ahead. All right, so when you have a heart attack, then it has clotted off, and people actually you get chest pain, shortness of breath, sweating, arm or back pain, etc. That area of the heart loses blood supply, and rather than being a pump that pumps and has a strong muscle, it becomes like scar tissue, right? So that's why heart disease, and people can have multiple heart attacks that affect multiple different areas of the heart. Okay.
Wow.
So this is what it actually looks like. So when you get that plaque buildup, then you see the blood kind of squeezing through barely, as opposed to really flowing through like it should. And then at the bottom there where it says ischemia and infarction, that's just showing you what does it look like when we do an EKG. People always, we do an EKG and then people go, doc, does it look okay? Well, that shows you some of the variations that we see when we have someone who has a heart attack or an evolving heart attack. All right. So if you could just hit the arrow button, this actually shows what a cardiac catheterization, go ahead, and it shows how we actually...
A coronary angiography or cardiac catheterization is an X-ray examination
the video's not showing, huh?
chambers of the heart,
not?
often done to identify
okay.
narrowed or clogged coronary arteries that are preventing blood from reaching the heart muscle.
That's not showing?
Okay, yeah, it's not showing. So basically what I wanted to show, you can keep it on the slide.
Okay.
But they go in through your groin, and they take something that goes all the way up into your chest. And from there, and that was the picture. There was a picture that the video that I was going to show you. And then they squeeze dye, and then the dye tells you whether or not the arteries are open or closed or blocked or whatever they may happen to be. Okay.
I can share it. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Study can also be used to measure the size and function of the chambers of the heart and the function of the heart valves. When you arrive at the hospital, an intravenous line will be started. You will be placed on a heart monitor, and you may be given an oral or intravenous sedative to help you relax. Most coronary angiography procedures last between 1 and 2 hours. Before the procedure, you will be placed on a table equipped with a fluoroscope, an X-ray imaging device. During the procedure, the fluoroscope will move around your chest in all directions to record pictures of your heart and coronary arteries from multiple angles. Most cardiac catheterizations take place through the femoral artery in the groin, but can also be done through an artery in the arm. The doctor numbs the skin in your groin area and inserts a needle into your femoral artery. Once the needle is placed, a wire is passed through the needle and gently guided through the arterial system to the heart. The needle will be withdrawn and exchanged for a small flexible tube called a sheath that permits access to your femoral artery. Next, a soft, flexible catheter will be slipped over the wire through the sheath and threaded up to your heart. Your physician will watch the movement of the catheter on the fluoroscope. You may feel pressure as the wire and sheath are inserted, but you will not feel their movement inside your arteries. To evaluate the coronary arteries, your doctor will remove the guide wire, position the tip of the catheter just inside the arteries, one at a time, and inject a special dye. This
That's
dye
the left
allows
side.
the fluoroscope to take X-ray images called angiograms of the artery's interior. Any blockages will be clearly identified as the arteries fill with dye. You may feel flushed or slightly nauseated when the dye is injected. After sufficient images of both coronary
Now
arteries
they're doing the
and their
right side.
tributaries have been recorded, the catheter will be removed through the groin. Pressure must be applied over the femoral artery to prevent bleeding. You will then be taken to the recovery room for 30 to 60 minutes of observation, after which you will be required to lie on your back for several hours with a pressure bandage in place over your groin. You may either be discharged home on the same day or after an overnight stay in the hospital.
Wow. That's
Yeah, so
big.
that
Oh my
basically
God.
shows you what a coronary angiogram is and what we do when we do one.
Oh my.
All right, and then the next slide I think was
Yep.
on.
I'm going to go back. I don't
Okay,
know why the computer's acting funny, but we're going to go back here. Go back
okay,
to the slides. Bear with me. Yeah, technical difficulties.
that's all right. That's all right.
Okay, there we go. Can you see that
All
now?
right. Yep. Okay. And you can go on to the next one. Okay. So the next one I'm going to talk about is what happens with strokes and cerebral vascular events, right? Now, it's
Wow.
very important. There's an acronym called BFAST. And basically, these are all the signs to look for a stroke. So, one, if you have problems with your balance, if you suddenly have problems with your vision, if you have a facial droop, if you have weakness of one arm or leg, or if you have sudden difficulty with your speech, then the T is for it is time to call 911. Time is brain tissue. The faster you get in, the better your outcome. And I'm going to go over a little bit about that.
Wow. Okay. Here we go.
So basically, the blood clot lodges somewhere in your brain in one of the arteries, right? And so this just shows a picture of what a normal carotid artery looks like and what a carotid artery looks like that actually has a plaque.
Okay. Wow.
And basically, what happens is then same thing. The blood flow is blocked, and then that area of the brain does not get blood flow and doesn't get the oxygen and nutrients that it needs. So there's several treatments that we now have where we used to not have that much that we could do for someone with a stroke outside of maybe give them aspirin. And aspirin is the most important thing to take at home if you think you have any of these symptoms, or if you're over 55, you should take it every day. But basically, there is a thrombolytic which busts up clot. It's called Activase or Antiplase, and we give that sometimes. And then sometimes there is an interventional neurologist that will actually go and actually retrieve the clot, right? So if it's in a large vessel. So you get the best outcome if you get to the ER fast. I want to remind people of that.
Wow.
If you click one more time, that is why we call it Be Fast, right? Balance, eye symptoms, facial droop, arm or leg, speech problems, time to call the ER.
Wow.
All right, go ahead. All right, and this just kind of shows how the thrombolytic works. It breaks up the clot, and then it allows for better blood flow. If you actually look at the interventional radiology procedure, I think that's the next slide. And that basically is a catheter that goes up into your brain, and it actually goes into that vessel. It pulls the clot, it captures the clot, and then actually retrieves it and pulls it out. And that is the way that you get the best um, uh, resolution of your motor skills or speech skills or whatever may happen to be off. Go ahead, next slide. All right. Then lastly, I'm going to talk about aorta, because you had a lot of problems with the aorta, like dissection, which is the splitting of the aorta, or you can get an aneurysm, which is where it dilates and gets bigger. I'm going to show a couple, see what we've got next. I think I got a couple photos. So there's basically your thoracic aorta, which is in your chest, and your abdominal aorta, which is in your abdomen.
Wow.
So this is an abdominal aortic aneurysm. This is where you start to get a ballooning of your aorta. Again, people do not know they have this until something happens that is catastrophic. Go ahead. This is sort of what it looks like when it gets larger and it starts to involve other vessels. Go ahead. They may come in with a deep pain in their abdomen or back pain. Usually it occurs when people have high blood pressure, they're smoking, they get hardening of their arteries from atherosclerosis, those types of things. Go ahead, next slide. Then you can have a thoracic aortic aneurysm, which is up in your chest. These are also from a weakened vessel wall, and these come in all different shapes and sizes. And I think the next slide actually shows that. Yeah. So this is kind of, they can involve the root of the aorta, they can involve the ascending part of the aorta, or they can go all the way down the arch. And you go on to the next slide. I've got a couple more pictures, and they can go all the way on down and continue all the way down, either as dissections or as aneurysms. These can also come from car accidents. So for instance, the most famous dissecting thoracic aortic aneurysm was Princess Diana in her when she was killed in that motorcycle accident. She had a dissecting aneurysm at the level of her arch.
Wow.
Go ahead. So with these, people get chest pain, back pain, shortness of breath, coughing. Usually the causes, again, are high blood pressure. It can be a sudden traumatic accident, particularly a high-speed motor vehicle accident or falling from a high level, and also elevated cholesterol. These are just the classifications. A type A is 60% of them, and those are usually managed with surgery. And then a type B is about 40%, and they can be managed medically. This shows you what the dissection looks like. So there's part of the blood going in the artery, and there's part of the blood going on in between the walls of the artery in what we call like a false lumen. So that's what you're kind of getting if you look at it on a cross section.
Wow.
So basically, about 20% of the people die before they reach the hospital. Without treatment, they have 3% of people die every hour within the first 24 hours. And so these usually have a very, very high mortality rate. Usually 90% of the people are dead within a year if they don't get surgical or medical management of this. Now, these are silent killers, just like everything else. People don't know they have them. There's little to no warning signs, and it causes people to die suddenly. Last slide. So a lot of people say, well, how would I know if I had it? Well, some people nowadays are actually paying for and getting full body scans. And they're getting full body scans not only to look for aneurysms, but also to know, do I have blockages in my coronary arteries, and how much are they? Do I have cancer that I don't know about? This is one way that some people are adding to their medical screening, is they're actually getting full body scans like every other year. And again, it's something that sometimes insurance may not cover, but you can do it with your out of pocket or sometimes with your healthcare savings account.
Oh, wow. That is
Okay.
good stuff.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why you can't see me. My video is poof. I don't know what happened. This is wild. Technical difficulties. Oh my goodness. Okay, so while I try to fix that, I've got a couple questions for you. Audience, please chime in your questions in the chat area. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get my camera back. I don't know what's going on with it.
That's all right.
But okay, so as we wait for the audience to ask some questions, what are the number one foods to stay away from if you want a healthy heart?
Okay, well, so I would say, see, now it's interesting because I wouldn't say it's necessarily foods as much as it is waist size. Um, what one of the strongest predictors of heart disease is actually the size of your waist. So women want to be 32 or less, men want to be 35 or less.
Okay.
So eat the foods that get you that waist size.
Oh my gosh. That's an easy way to remember it.
That's right. That's
Eat the
right.
food you eat to the wayside. Oh my goodness. Okay, and so I told everybody that's why I got my workout gear on, because after the show I'm going to work out. So how many times a week should you get cardio in? And each setting or each time you work out, how many minutes should it be for?
So, you know what? People often ask this about exercise. And what I tell people is it's really important to at least try to do 30 minutes 3 times a day. 3 times, I'm sorry, 3 times a week. At least
Oh,
30 minutes 3 times a week as a minimum. As a minimum. But the other thing that you can do is, when you're doing regular things that you normally do in life,
mhm.
just do them with a little extra, right? So I'm
Okay.
going to do the laundry. I got to go up and down the steps. Okay, I'm going to jog up and down the steps and do the laundry and just do a little, do a little extra. Take the steps rather than the elevator. But if you talk about exercise, I tell people, try to at least get 30 minutes 3 times a week, which is not a lot. And it could be just a brisk walk where you kind of get your heart rate up.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I went for out of town for a business meeting, and my husband went with me, and we had to walk some crazy amount. And I said, "Come on, let's just walk fast." And we just brisk
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to get your
exactly.
heart rate up. So
Exactly.
definitely. Oh my
So,
goodness.
so the main things for heart disease, because
Mhm.
people often ask me about exercise, but I want to make sure quitting smoking
Mm.
and vaping
Oh,
because people think that they're moving to vaping and it's safer, and that's not the case. People
okay.
have not calculated how much nicotine is in the liquid, in that vaping liquid. I could do a whole nother thing on that, on
Wow.
how to do that, because a lot of times people are going to a higher amount of nicotine. So smoking, vaping, and keeping your blood pressure well controlled.
Okay.
And if you have diabetes, keeping your hemoglobin A1C well controlled. Those are the top four things you can do. Like, I
Okay.
want people to really focus in on that.
Hmm.
And obviously drugs like cocaine,
Oh,
you just saw just with the death of DMX, he died of, cardiac arrest most likely related to cocaine use, right? And so I think, those types of things, you got to get those things out first, right? And that makes a major difference. Then hone in on everything else.
yeah, definitely. And your diet. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a question from Carla. She says, Dr. V, which CT scan or diagnostic test to order for blockage in your body? So I guess she's wondering what specific test does she need to order to see if there's any blockage?
Yeah, so the full body scan they can do full body scans, and also check the blockages in your coronary artery disease. It's usually an MRI. So
Mm,
it's usually the full body scan is usually an MRI, and they can do a cardiac MRI.
mm,
And so that's what you would normally do, because a cardiac catheterization is used for people. That's a more invasive procedure. That's when people actually really have symptoms.
mm. Wow. And I noticed you mentioned earlier about the back pain. So somebody could actually just have back pain and it could be your heart versus,
Yes. Yes.
wow.
Yeah, it could be your
The
heart.
only way to know for sure is to get that full.
The full body scan. Yeah. And I mean, by the time you have back pain, you just have to go into the emergency department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. You
Because you
guys
got to
don't be
be
shy.
fast.
Huh?
This is not something to sit at home with.
Go and get it done. Yeah. That's scary because we too often we think, oh, this hurts or that hurt, and you think, oh, it's just a headache or it's
Yeah.
the wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. It's really
amazing. That's
important.
amazing.
Yeah.
Any of you guys got any more questions? You guys let her have it. Dr. V, she's our doctor. She is here. Okay. So somebody said full body or MRI. Okay. Is there a question?
So the full body scan uses MRI technology.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So normally if your doctor orders an MRI, they'll just order certain, they'll say pelvis, abdomen, but you want the full body.
Full body. Okay. And
Hmm.
then what if somebody doesn't have insurance? How much is the scan for the full body out of pocket? Do you know roughly?
I've seen it vary a lot. I've seen where you can get the cardiac scan for like $800 or $900 or
Ooh,
so. The full body scan might be closer to, $1,500 or so.
oh my
Just,
gosh.
just give you order of the magnitude to
Mhm,
sort of where it's at,
mhm. And not to get too political, but if somebody doesn't have insurance, they can get that Obamacare, and I'm sure that'll help them, right?
That's right. That's right.
Mhm,
Yep. I tell
mhm.
people all the time, get onto the exchange and get it, and then get the things that you need. Also, too, there's also something called Forward,
Okay.
which is a subscription medical service, and
Mm.
it's $149 a month. And
Oh,
they're very focused on actually checking you for a lot of preventative diseases.
that's
So
awesome.
if you don't have insurance, you can sign up for some of these subscription services, which allow you to get a primary care doctor and get access to certain things for $149 a month.
Wow, that's worth it. That's so worth
Yeah,
it. Oh
yeah,
my gosh, Dr. B, you always are a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing because what you share with us, some of our people they wouldn't, know or
yeah,
get. So
yeah.
you are a tremendous blessing to come on and share.
You're
Definitely,
welcome.
definitely. Well, we got to have you come back again. You are, like I said, we appreciate you so much, and you're so knowledgeable, y'all. She actually works in the emergency room. She actually works so she is a full-fledged doctor. So
Yep,
we love to
yep.
have you come
Full
back.
fledged going in Monday morning.
Ooh. And she has her own show. Talk of
Yeah,
your
I would love to hear what sort of topics your audience wants to hear about.
yeah, you guys, come on,
Yeah,
tell us.
yeah, I'd love to hear what topics you guys are kind of curious about.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there now.
I know. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot. It
So,
really is. And as we
all right,
get older, we got to take care of our bodies. Definitely
absolutely,
exercise and eat right, and definitely.
absolutely.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank
Please
you.
come back.
Okay,
You're welcome here anytime.
okay. All right. Bye bye.
See you later. Bye bye. All right, guys, that was Dr. V. She is amazing. I love her to pieces because she comes on and keeps it real and share things with us that maybe some others wouldn't. So, or maybe you don't have access to it. So, thank you, Dr. V. You're amazing. So, you guys, yes, 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 I see him waiting in the green room. It is time for the JeROME moment. Let me bring him on in. Let's talk.
Hey,
Hey, Boo, how are
how you
you?
doing?
How you doing? You look all fresh and vibrant.
Trying to be healthy. And
you
my
know,
issue, my JeROME moment talks about health a little bit.
I had your video all queued up, ready for you, and my computer went haywire, so I had to take it back down. But
Oh, so you can't play it, huh?
and then it took my video off. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on
Does it
here?
work now?
Well, I could try. I'm scared. I don't know. If I try, the whole thing might blow up.
No, it should be all right. It'll work because if you're
It might
back,
be the internet gods messing
it's
with
back. You should
me.
be back because what I talk about is there was a man in Florida, Treasure Island, Florida, who's a pharmacist.
I saw that. Oh,
And he was selling these drugs to these different distribution pain management places. So like 1 million pills
mm,
illegal. Got caught, had to go to jail, had to serve close to 4 years. But
mm.
he couldn't go to jail. Guess why?
Why?
Because he weighs
Oh,
551
yeah,
pounds.
I saw that. It
The
was.
judge said he is too fat for prison. He won't fit in the bed in prison. And he's caught for selling these illegal drugs, pain management drugs. Obviously, they weren't diet pills.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
the guy was too huge. But can you imagine if if you're in jail and it says, okay, all right, JeROME, you got a new cellmate. Oh yeah, and he's gonna take the top bunk, and he's 550 pounds. Ah!
Ooh. I wouldn't want to be underneath. No, no, no.
So that's got to be crazy. And then
Oh,
the news crews, because this was let's see what the news crews was. It was ABC Action News, WFTS TV,
okay.
Florida, Southern Florida.
Mm.
And they said they knocked on his door. They were trying to talk to him, and he didn't answer. He couldn't. 550 pounds. He can't get up. He can't answer.
He can't get
We
to
gotta wait a couple of weeks for him to get to the front door. Okay. Some people, oh, you're fat shaming. No, I'm not fat shaming. It's a shame that he's that fat. He's 550. Couple 100 pounds is one thing. 551.
Back up. How in the world is he a pharmacist that big? How does he get behind the counter and actually? I mean, good Lord.
I think they wheel him in because they didn't even discuss that part. I'm like, how does he get to work and back? Because they say now he's so big, he really can't even leave the house. So he's under house arrest.
Wow.
So they were talking about, let's take his passport and that kind of thing. He said, no, don't worry about it. He can't go nowhere.
Where you going?
And plus, he has a fear of falling, like a weevil. He wobbles, but he will fall down. He'd be on his back like a roach. Help me, help me. Help me. I guess the biggest fear is the fact of him falling on us. Now, we have a fear of him falling, not him fearing to fall.
Right.
He falls on you, that's it. But it goes to tell you, like, now, if you do a crime now, if you really want to get out of jail, all you got to do is just gain
some weight.
pounds. You won't be able to go to jail.
Just eat.
That's right. Just bam, bam, bam. You know they ain't got enough food in the prison.
No.
Everybody on this cell block, he's probably on cell block C, but not just C. He's on cell block A, B, C, D, E, F, and the Alabama.
Oh my God.
And, everybody on this cell block is all skinny and frail. Refugees, because he's probably eating the prisoners.
Oh.
That's a way to clean out the prison system.
Yeah.
Just put them in there.
The
Population. Hey man, wasn't this a population problem? This prison? Yeah, I don't know nothing about that, man. Idea. Are you eating that chicken now? His name was Steve Goodman. They need to call him Steve Mr. Good and Plenty. Steve Mr. Good Bar. But yeah, you should try to, because people have to see this.
Oh my God, Jerome! I just tried. My computer said.
In a chair.
I'll put the link.
I don't know how they ties like.
Oh my gosh! I'll put the link to it in the comments so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Richard said, "Is your TV working?"
He sits around the house. He sits around the house. Boom, boom. He has a belt. He don't have a belt. He has a hula hoop. This is 551.
That's crazy. That's insane. He probably eats like 2 cartons of eggs, like 2 dozen of eggs for breakfast. Like
that's just an appetizer.
Could you imagine him going on one of your cruises?
His tie is a curtain. Yeah, my cruise. The cruise. If he came on my cruise ship, the cruise ship would be popping a wheelie the whole time. The whole time.
It'd be like the Titanic. Everybody.
Now everybody's shipped. He's in the front of the ship now. Oh, camera. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
You are
and
so.
He tried to run away. They say he tried to get away when the cops came to get him. He tried to run away, but it's fine. All I can do is follow the candy wrappers, follow the donut crumb. Well, I probably can't even run away. Roll away.
Ooh, roll away. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I've never heard any of that before.
That's crazy. Too fat to go for prison.
And if you think about it, he's that big, he can't fit in the bed. What can he, he stands up, where's the bed? Oh, there it is. Pull it out of his butt.
It's right there. Ooh, he don't have to worry about nobody getting at him in prison. He ain't too big. They couldn't get to it.
That's right. They're going to have to find a crease or something. They're going to have to figure something out. But he can smuggle people out, though. All the bowls he got, he can take 4 or 5 prisoners, hide them in there, and boom. That's what they can escape.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. That's insane. So you getting ready for your cruise? You excited? It's coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm getting on a cruise ship. Everybody, cruise ship. I am getting on July 24th in a couple of weeks.
Uh-oh.
And, I'm taking my chances. And it should be okay because they say
you'll be fine.
95% of the people have to be vaccinated. Hopefully they're really strict on that. And 95% of the crew have to be vaccinated. So it should be no issues. And it depends on the cruise line. It depends on what the procedures are. Some cruise lines will have where you're supposed to wear a mask if you're within 6 feet of people. And the buffet will be served by the crew and not by individuals. So
Good.
but you have to check with the particular cruise line you're getting on to make sure that that's whatever the protocols are. But it should be okay because they've been sailing, like I guess, since some cruise lines have been sailing since the end of June.
And nobody got sick.
And then it's okay.
Okay.
People are doing it and coming back and having a good time. I get on a Carnival cruise line called the Vista. Leaves out of Texas. It goes to, if I'm not mistaken, it should go to Belize and Cozumel and the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
It's a great cruise. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a huge ship too. It's probably about 5,000 passengers. So I don't know what the capacity is going to be, but I'll be on it, and I'll be. And if I'm not funny, I have a mask on, so you can't tell who I am anyway. So the mask will be off for my show. But after my show, I am going through the room. I'm not going to be in the middle of too much population, just in case. Just
a little. So, do you have to quarantine on there after your show, like for 14 days or what?
No, we're okay. You just do your thing and get to walk around and do your show. And before, we used to always greet people after the show and shake hands and with people and a pound. But they're not so much doing that now.
Okay.
So hopefully it'll get to the point where we have herd immunity, and then you could do those greets afterwards.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting for you.
And it's out of Texas, and Texas has very good crowds. You've talked to any comedian, they say when you go to Texas has some of the best crowds in the country. They're just people full of life, full of spirit and joy, and ready to laugh.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it should be fun.
So this cruise ship you'll be on, is it paying or are these a test dummies, so to speak? No.
Oh, you talking about the passengers?
Yeah.
I assume they paid to get on.
Okay.
Some cruise lines did some test things where some passengers are on free. No, this should be a paid
one. Okay.
Yeah,
well, listen, if you're good, then I'll go on and I'll see how you turn out for her. You're hilarious. I know they're gonna have fun with you and knock them dead. Yeah, but don't forget about us on Let's Talk. See, you're gonna blow up and be like, "Let's Talk." What's that? Don't forget about us.
Yeah, blow up figuratively, not like us. Who blew up too big for prison? Yeah, JeROME blew up and he's too big for his cabin.
Oh my goodness!
So he'll be sleeping on a rope deck for the rest of the cruise.
Oh my God!
It'll be like one drop of water and it's full.
Well, I'm putting your contact information down below. So for those that are watching that want to catch you on one of these cruises, you'll have it on your information. And awesome. I know you'll do well. But you get back and you come back to Let's Talk, and we go keep it real and have some more fun.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody asked about your TV. You gonna take a TV with you?
Take a TV.
Somebody said, "Is your TV working? Are you gonna take your TV with you?"
Oh, they're probably talking to you. Oh, we talking about this TV in the back. Oh, okay. I don't even know no more. Yeah, my fake TV in the back. I guess if anybody's tuning in for the first time, somebody's been listening to me before. I have a fake TV in the back. No, it's a real TV, but it's not working.
Yes, it's all good. It's all good. That's one of the loyal viewers.
The bulb went out. You got to get another bulb. And during COVID, I didn't want to get out and get the Rona, trying to get
get it fixed. Bulb. Right.
But yeah, so maybe I can take this and use it as a surfboard. Surf on the back of the ship.
Oh my gosh, you're hilarious. Well, make sure you come back, and I know you're gonna kill it. You're gonna do well.
I'll be back.
And wishing the best.
I'll have to make some episodes in this ship
that we can air.
I don't know if the connection of the ship, depending on where we're at.
Okay.
In the ocean, I don't know if it'll be.
Well, let me know. Hit me up and
do a show or something.
Yeah, we could pre-record it and
to
viewers. Yeah, definitely.
People check out that link of the Good, Stephen.
Yes, I'm gonna put it in the comment section because the internet gods are messing with me tonight. I don't want to push it. So,
or maybe if it works and it logs in when you put this on YouTube, you can just insert it.
Yes. I'll make sure to put it there, sir. I sure will. You got to check that out. Check that out. Will you stay safe, and I'll be in touch. And you guys hit his info up on his cruises and where he'll be and all that good stuff. And be safe out there and have fun. You're going to kill it.
Will do.
Okay.
Live long and prosper, everybody. Look at my camera. Live long and prosper. Fox is on Star Trek. I think the thumb is supposed to be like that.
I can't do it. You good.
The only skill I have.
Okay.
There you go. 4 years of college, and that's all I can do is separate.
Well, I'll be in touch. You be safe out there.
Right.
See you later. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, JeROME is so funny, you guys. I'm happy that he's getting back out there to cruise and get back to doing what he loves to do, and that's entertain and tell jokes and stuff like that. And so, as you guys know, Dean comes on the show as well. He has his first stand-up show tomorrow. So these guys are getting back to life somewhat normal, and I'm super happy for them. But they told me they're not gonna forget about little old me. They'll come back and visit us, you guys. Don't worry, don't worry. So as we close out the show, several things I want to share with you guys. I want to give a special shout out. My grandfather, this is his birthday weekend. My papa, yes, he is turning 99 years old. I'm super excited. Happy birthday, Papa. I love you. Without you, there would be no me. He was the only child, and he's had tons of, I can't even count how many great grandchildren and so many people that love him. He's still vibrant. He's still walking and talking. He still walks on a treadmill. He is amazing. I want to be like him when I grow up. So happy birthday, Papa. Love you, love you, love you. Special shout out to him out of Valley Joe, Cali. That's Vallejo, California. So you guys, as I close out the show, I always like to leave you guys with something positive. I saw this today and I said, I got to share this. And this comes from somebody that's been around or was around many, 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 many years ago. And basically it says, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Okay. Love all, trust a few, and do wrong to none. I think that is amazing. And guess who said that? William Shakespeare. I think that's amazing. And he is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So as you guys are out there, be safe out there. If you're not vaccinated and you're on the fence, get vaccinated. The more people that get vaccinated, we can kill this variant and we can get back to life as normal. We don't want to see anybody pass away or be sick, but please get vaccinated. No matter how young you are or how old, just please do it. Look into it. If you have questions, ask your doctor, but we got to protect everybody, especially our people. We got to be protected. So as I tell you guys, every single week, do one good thing for one person each day, and you can affect 365 lives, whether it's opening a door, saying something nice, what have you. Just do one good thing for one person every single day of your life. And if no one has told you this week or today that they love you, I'm going to tell you, I love you. Stay safe out there and always do the right thing. And with that, I'm out.